Everybody. Hello, everybody. I don't know how to get to, I'd like to go to my videos, to see, if I could, pull up, I like pulling this up, like, I think it's cool to pull this part up because, I get to see the chat, in a better way, I think. Um, I know it takes usually a little while for anybody to get here, so I'll just wait for people to get here. And I guess that um when I go in this mode here, it's usually like people can see my screen and all that, and I don't really care. There's nothing on my screen that I'm really. I wish I knew more how to do this mode because there are some interesting things that I read throughout the night that I think are interesting, and I would like to talk about them. Uh, I'd like to talk about them during our talks, but as soon as anybody gets here, please please. Oh no, I want that. Please say something so that I know that you're there, and that everybody can hear properly. I know sometimes it takes a couple minutes. Some of you guys are really fast. You guys get here pretty fast, and um, some I know it takes a while for the notification to get out. So for the people that are listening on replay, I don't want this to be boring for you, but I just want for you guys to kind of get the gist of what my mood is before I start is that uh, dealing with people as far as you're gonna get people that question you or try to challenge your belief in some kind of truth topic, and I used to bite into this, right? Like where I would, especially with the flat Earth, right? Is uh, once I knew that the Earth was flat, and I've went through all the strenuous, detail. Hey, AJ, hey, what's going on, buddy? I'm glad that you're here. I didn't want to be talking to myself, but I'm talking about basically being like a lover of the truth, right? And that's what I think that we should be, right? Um, I heard somebody talk about this on their channel. He's not a guy that I normally follow or would recommend, so I'm not going to put it out there who it is. You might know him, I don't know, right? But what he said was there are people that are deceived, right? Then there are the deceivers, right? And then there are the very elect, right? Which makes me think, right? Like that's kind of been my experience, right? Is like of course it's very difficult for me to refer to myself as like the very elect, right? That is spoken about in the Bible. I mean, I have a hard time even thinking about heaven. It embarrasses me because I know I don't belong there. I know that I'm not good enough, right? And I know that I'll probably never be good. Well, I won't. I'll never be good enough. And so I don't say these things like from any um, point of pride or any point of arrogance or anything like that. I mean, far from it. If there's any evidence that supports that this is not me or this is not us, right? Then I'm willing to listen to it. But the way he described it was that there's the deceived, the deceivers, and the very elect. And if we're the very elect, right, uh, then I know that it says in Revelation that even the very elect would be deceived if that were possible. So maybe the fact that it's not possible, meaning that we have popped out of it, right? That we have popped out of it, and we can see, um, that we. Oh, how you doing, Shepherd's Voice? God bless you. Welcome. And like maybe because we've popped out of it, we could see all the lies on the news. We could see all this one eye symbolism and all these hand signals, and we can see all these truths, right? That we're finding out, like all these lies, right? Like, would that make us the very elect, right? Like, you got the deceived, the deceivers, and the very elect. So I don't know. What would you say about that? I'm Shepherd's Voice. I'd say I'm feeling pretty good. I think health wise, I'm doing amazing. Right. Like my stomach was in such bad shape I couldn't eat like, but only every 4 days. Like this was only just a few months ago, and I couldn't even walk a mile without like having some kind of like major problem. And so I thought I was never going to get better, and possibly even die. But it's crazy that I was able to come back to this to this amount of health because I honestly didn't think I was going to get better. So back to what I was saying, like the 7,000 of the very elect, like that's crazy, right? Like how many of us are truthers, right? That are not only truthers but followers of Jesus too, right? In this truth community, right? If you can call it that, right? How many people are in the truth community and are believers in what Jesus did at the cross, right? That he died for our sins, that we are um, uh, in the like the Bible's about us, and the future is written, right? Uh, how many of us are there that are like that, right? Because I know a lot of people that can see all of the truth, but they're not followers of Jesus in that way, right? They don't consider the Bible. Like they figure that it's wrong, or it's messed with, or that we're beyond. Like that was all in the past, and the kingdom is already gone. And like so like my question is that like if if what God meant, right, was if what he meant was the very elect could not be deceived, does that mean the people that have popped out of this and can see that all their truths and all that? There's a lot of lukewarm people, right? But I would say the people that come here to my chat, right, are people that definitely want to hear about Jesus because I talk about God all the time, right? Um, if they don't want to hear about Jesus, they'll come stay for a minute and then leave. And that's fine. I appreciate that kind of support too, right? But what's crazy is, right, is that, and I hate saying that, like, what's crazy, but like, what's interesting, I would say, right, is that God picks, even throughout the Bible, right? He picks who he picks, right, to show favor to, right? And a lot of times, right, he picks people with some kind of, people that are struggling in some kind of way, or people that have to overcome a whole lot, or people that they would say, we're sinners in a bad way, but then like, we're able to overcome and have a change of heart, and maybe we're all still sinners, right? But followers of Jesus that are trying their best, right? Like, I mean, how many people would you say, Shepherd's Voice, right, are in the truth community and are firm believers in what Jesus did at the cross as far as dying for our salvation, right? And putting the sins of the world on his back, right? It's crazy. Hey, JJ. Oh man, it's good to see you, buddy. Man, I'm just very grateful today. I heard some stuff that was kind of exciting about this very elect thing, and just the possibility of it makes me excited, Um, and then also, Shepherd's voice asked me how I was doing as far as my health is concerned, and man, I couldn't be in a better position, my health is good. Uh, you know, um, as far as me needing medication for anything, I'm cutting down to the very minimum amount that I need. Um, I don't take any kind of narcotics or anything, right? And I'm just spiritually feeling good, right? I mean, I drink a Diet Coke every Friday, right? But other than that, I just drink water, and I have a very lean diet, right? And I'm just like, I feel good, right? I feel happy, and I feel spiritually in tune, right? Okay, yeah, now my dental issues, right? This is what's crazy about that, right? Is that I wanted to get all my dental stuff done within 1 month, right? 4 straight appointments a week apart, because I didn't want to spend any time, if at all, or very much time without teeth in my face, right? Because of course, my vanity, right? Of course, I don't want people to see me without a couple teeth or whatever missing, right? So I'm trying to get all of it done in 4 weeks, and so I had to have a lot of dental work done, uh, a lot, and it was very hard to bounce back that next day. And then I'm gonna have another on Monday, a whole bunch more dental work done, and of course without any painkillers, right? And so like it's like horrific, but in 2 weeks after that, I should be done, and hey, look, I feel very blessed to have dental insurance at this point in my life, to be able to start fresh again with teeth at 44 years old. I think that's all anybody could ask, right? To have a full set of choppers, and and have everything look nice, and I still got my hair. It's like, I'm grateful, trust me, for a lot of things, right? That's just vanity, right? That's just the stuff that doesn't really matter to me too much. I spend most of my time isolated, but uh, my conversations with God have gotten like better, as far as like I think that I keep getting closer to God. I feel very confident and joyful, and I feel peace, right, with what's going on, right? Of course, I grieve for the world, and I grieve for things that are happening out there, people being victimized and things like that. I do grieve about that. But as far as like, things that I can control, right? I feel like I'm on top of it. Yeah, once once I get my teeth done, I don't know, 3 more weeks, who knows? I might just pop myself on camera for a couple of shows in a row. I'm just not a camera guy, because I want to do this thing in the morning, and I don't want to make it about me or whatever, but like, I want to do this thing in the morning. I don't really feel like jumping in the shower this early, and so it's like, I don't know. It's a yeah, I don't know. Maybe one day I'll put myself on. I don't know. I'm not a horrific looking guy. I don't think, but like, I'm just a regular average looking guy. And I've spent my whole life being like exactly average at everything. Wouldn't say I have bad head right now. Shepherd's voice. I mean, it's all right. I mean, if I was on camera, I'd look all right. But bedhead. But and I've had bedheads like real bad, especially as a teenager. Like when I'd sleep for like 12 straight hours, and be able to get a whole bunch of sleep when I was, in my teens. If I could go back in time, I would tell my teenage self, hey, forget about high school, just forget all that stuff, and forget college and all that. Just sleep as much as you can, and because you'll never sleep again. At a certain point, you'll just wake up. And I know you're just poking fun at me, and that's fun. I love, I'm open to that. Like, I don't take myself that seriously, really. And I just spent my whole life being exactly average. I don't really stick out at all. Like, I guess when I'm playing sports, I look like I belong out there, but I'm not like special in any kind of way. I mean, I had one year where I had a pretty good year in baseball, when I was like 12, right? And I did win the little MVP trophy, which, that's the most I've ever stood out as far as like being special at anything. I mean, I don't know. Like every time I'm in a group of friends, I'm always kind of used as the person that kind of like explains things to people. I guess I have a good way of like, I don't know, explaining things, finding the words to describe stuff, or fixing communication issues that like miscommunications that cause fights and stuff like that. But I'm just me. And I don't know. I think that served me well because like I don't really have like any kind of ego or pride about anything, right? Like um, I don't have like a wall full of trophies or anything like that. I'm not into that, right? And you know, I'm basically just as simple as a person could be. And I think even for the last 4 years, right? I mean, of course, I'm getting personal about some stuff, right? I'm opening up to you guys because I consider you guys my friends, but this is a public thing, right? So I'm just saying that like, 4 years ago when I gave up like dating and I gave up casual sex with women, and I gave up porn and all that stuff, right? I started having full sexual integrity, which I wasn't horrific before that either, but since I've really been like focused on that, right? Like I'm as simple as you can get, right? Like if I have enough food to eat, it doesn't matter what I eat as long as I have enough. And I mostly give most of my money to my kids. I don't really have that much extra, but for some reason, kids like need money for the rest of their life. It doesn't end at 18. And so like they don't ask for much, but here and there, whatever, and I end up spending everything that I have. But I always seem to have enough. Of course, I had trouble a few months ago and needed some help, and some people helped me out. But usually I have like exactly enough resources to make it, right? And that's just kind of been my life, right? And but I was thinking about it, right? Like, how much effort did I really put into life, right? Like, how much. I mean, I did work hard when I was in the army, right? I really believed in being a part of that. I was young and I wanted to be a hero. And so, like, I really put a lot of hard work into that. I wasn't deployed anywhere, but that I would say that I have a small military career that I'm kind of proud of. But like other than that, right? Like is I feel like I'm getting way more out of life than I've put in, right? And I think a lot of that has been just having trust in God, right? But these last few years, right? And I would say that I was a Christian probably for the last 20 years, right? Or 15 to 20 years, right? But and I would say I always talked to God throughout my whole life. Even when I thought I didn't believe, I always talked to God. And so it was kind of a weird relationship with God. But like these last couple of years, right? Last few years, after discovering just how many lives are on this planet, or plane, right? Uh, it hit me, that you know God is not just a hope for the future after I die, right? God is real right now, and and really not only is God real, but God is the only truth that you could really count on. And so I went from like thinking that religion was like a big part of my life, or God was a big part of my life, to really fully understanding that God is my life, right? This whole thing is about God. Our whole reason for existence is Him, right? And I think that that's important, because when it comes to making it through life, right? Um, I don't think there was ever a time where I really needed something and it wasn't available to me. to fix it, right? And I'm not saying that like people didn't jump in and help me or things like that. Um, I've had a lot of really amazing people in my life uh, that I would say without each one of them entering my life when they did, I wouldn't have made it. And oh, hey, how you doing, Alex? Man, I'm so glad you're here, man. Oh, yes, what a blessing. And so, yeah, and it's like, Jesus puts these people in your life, right? And you start to wonder, is my life, my perspective from my eyes, right? Is that all just for me? you know and then your perspective of life right through your eyes is all just for you. And God puts these people in your life, and sometimes we run into each other, right, where we're there for oh, hey, Spirit Walker, yeah, I mean, yeah, welcome, I'm glad you're here. Go ahead and chat away, and there's no uh, I don't mind people having dissenting opinions too. Like this isn't an echo chamber. And so it won't take you long to get a wrench. As long as I know that you're not one of these trolls. Um, I'm glad that you're here. Welcome. And so like I think that like God has like really been there for me my whole life, right? Now that I look back in hindsight, right? And it's like uh, what makes me so special that he's there for me, right? Like why isn't he there for like I don't know, like how come in other people's lives that I see them constantly having problems over and over and over again, like God must be working in their life a different way. But I've always felt like God hasn't been really hard on me. I mean, trust me, I've been chastened by the Lord, and I've gone through some suffering times, right, where I had to learn how to really do without. But um, I would say that overall, God has been pretty easy on me. And hopefully that's because He knows I get the lesson pretty quickly. But, um, you know, I would say even as a Christian, I'm probably average or below average. Um, I think God just understands our effort. Sometimes, God will show favor to someone who's not really that great of a person, right? But if their heart is right, uh, then if their heart is genuine towards God, God will know that. And that's why, like, when people ask me, like, oh, well, why did God say that, David was a man after his own heart and David did this, and that, right? Well, none of us are going to die perfect. We all want to please God, right? And trust me, David, if you read Psalms, right, he wanted to make God happy. And it's just like what Paul said to the Romans. Like, it's like we want to be good, but we can't. Or, we want to do the right thing, but we don't. And I think that's important, right? Because the Bible does set precedents, right, for just exactly how far we can go and have God still be there for us. Like the thief on the cross, right? You could go all the way to your last breath, and if your heart is right, right as soon as before you die, you're going to end up in paradise, right? So it sets the precedent for running out of time. Or the prodigal son, right? He goes out, spends his inheritance, does every kind of wrong thing that he could do, comes back to his father, right? And instead of punishing him, right, they throw a party for him to just because he's back, right? And so when you walk away from God, right, and you do horrific things, right, and defile yourself, even your body, right, all God really cares about is that you come back safe. And yeah, of course, it's good to be that son that never left, right, and to be, um, uh, you know, uh, I wouldn't say good, but to try to follow uh, God as best you can, right? I mean, of course, there's appreciation for that. But, if you are one of those people, right, which is what I think I am right now, is like I really want to try to make God happy. I try not to do things wrong, right? But I'm perfectly okay with God celebrating more, right, for somebody that has not done these things, right, that has come back, right? Like, I'm perfectly okay with God being happier about that than with me, you know? And I think that when you come to that, yeah, exactly, exactly, Spirit Walker, But when you come to that conclusion in yourself, right, that yes, I want to try my best. I know that I'm not good as far as fitting that mold, right? So I'm not gonna like boast about myself, right? No, there is nothing to boast about, right? I try to do all the right things, right? I don't use the sacrifice of Jesus as like a you know a reason to sin, right, and get away with it, right? Like I do try to do my best, and I'm perfectly okay with God like being happier with somebody coming back that has done horrific things, right? And I think when you reach that space in your heart where you're okay with all of those things, right? Okay with not being celebrated, okay with doing all the right things, right? Okay with knowing that no matter what you do, it's not your works that get you saved, and that all that glory belongs to God, And I have no problem with any of that. And I think now I understand why that, there's people, right, that I always wonder, like, man, it's so easy just to accept God, like, why aren't they doing it? And maybe it's because all those things go through their mind, right, of what it really means, right? If you accept um, God into your life, well, number one, it's true. So whether you accept it or not, I mean, it's true either way, right? So there's that to deal with, right? But maybe when a person accepts that there's a God and that they're not in charge of their own life, maybe that's a very scary thing, for them. I don't know. But hey, Alex, yeah, exactly, man. Eternal salvation, faith in Jesus Christ. And the reason why we can feel safe and secure in our salvation, right, is because we know that he did the work, right? I know I'm going to heaven, right? I know I'm going to go there. Not because I'm arrogant about my own life, right? But because Jesus did the work and he doesn't lie and he can't make mistakes. He did it perfect, right? Whatever it is that God had to do for me, he did perfect. Yeah, we can be confident. We're going to heaven, right? Because that's what God said, right? If we have faith that, in him dying for our sins, right? If we confess him as our Lord, right? Then yeah, that's it, right? And so, yeah, it's very simple, right? It's not easy. I mean, it cost God his life to get us there, right? I mean, the price was high to get us into heaven, right? But he had to reconcile us at some way, right? It, if he let us off the hook, then God would be shady, right? Oh, okay, it's okay for you to sin, just let us off the hook, right? But he still wanted to be with us, right? So the only other way he could do it, right, is to take our punishment, right, which keeps him holy, right, and helps us to exist with him, right? And so I think it's beautiful what God was willing to give up for us. And a lot of people would say, well, Jesus sacrificed himself, but then he's alive 3 days later. So what did he really sacrifice? Well, he took a lot of punishment, right? And he gave everything he could give us, right? That's everything God could give us, you know. Of course, he's going to be raised from the dead. He's God, right? But like he gave everything that he could give, right, for us. And just the beating alone, right, that he took of the punishment, right, uh, uh, it makes me want to cry, because on his mind he's thinking of things I've done, and he's taking that on his own back. And uh, trust me, I don't consider myself special in that kind of way, And just to know that there is somebody out there that does love me like that is, it's, it's beautiful, right? To know that um, God knows every detail about us, all the way down to the hairs on our head, and He wants to spend the rest of His life with us. I mean, every detail of us, He knows us, right? Everything we've done in secret, everything we've done, um, in front of everybody, like, He knows us, right? And He wants to be with us. And yeah, and nobody's better than anybody else, right? So if I say that I talk to God all day, right? Well, you could talk to God all day too. He has time for both of us, right? He has infinite time for all of us, equally. And we're all. I wouldn't say we're equally all bad. I would say we're all equally not perfect. Uh, none of us are gonna be able to die the way we want without any sin at all. Of course, I don't want to sin for the rest of my life. And I want to do things to make God happy because I know that He's looking at me, right? But I also know that hey, sometimes I don't clean up my breakfast plate or something, right? Or sometimes I don't, I don't know, maybe I'll skip a day of a shower or something, right? Like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it does make me feel bad to know that I let sometimes those things slide, right? I'm supposed to do my best every day, right? And so like, of course I want to do my best, but I know that when I die, I'm not Jesus. I can't die perfect, right? And so there's gonna be some stuff, and but I think that is okay because it helps you to understand, right, um, that it's really nothing that we've done to get us into heaven, and that God doesn't have to share that glory with anybody, you know, and He's not gonna either, like just like in the back half of Matthew when people ran up to Jesus and said, haven't I prophesied in your name and done all these good deeds in your name, right? And He's like, depart from me, I never knew you, you workers of iniquity, right? And it's because if you really knew God, right? If you really knew Jesus, you wouldn't run up to Him and say uh, all the good things that you've done, Like, I mean, do you think God wants to hear that, Like, right? And so, yeah, I think that your name being blotted out or whatever is like kind of a chicken or the egg thing, right? Like, yes, your name can be blotted out, right? But once you're saved, you're always saved. And so it's one of those things that like God, you know God knows exactly what's going to happen all the way till the end because He created the beginning from the end. And so, yeah, it's one of those chicken or the egg things, right? So people can say and be right, hey, your name can be blotted out, but also Alex is right that once you're saved, you're always saved, right? Like, I do get both perspectives on that, but it's like since God is omnipresent, right? Some things that you've done happened in the future, right? And so, yeah, it's all hard for us to wrap our head around, and so there's a lot of like little disagreements in there, right? But here's the cool part, right? If we are not arguing about something, right? uh, then it means we're widening that road to accept a lot of different things, right? We're supposed to have a little argument, right? Like how we have right now, spirit walkers talking about once saved, always saved is a deception, right? And then and we're saying that well, you're right. Without repentance, you have to have a change of heart, right? But here's the thing, right? Like um, it's in such a way, right, where you can see it both ways. But really, like, when God says, no one can be plucked from my hand, that's true, right? And then when He says you can be blotted out of the name, blotted out of the book of life, that's true, right? But God knows what you've done, right, all the way till the end of time, because the beginning was created from the end. So if you were chosen before the foundations of the earth, it's because He knew you your whole life before you were even created, And so, there's a lot of different things, right? We're supposed to argue over these little things, right? And I'm sure not everyone agrees with everything I said. But this is one thing I'm sure that we can all agree on is that it's hard for us to lean on our own understanding of things sometimes, right? Yes, there's a right answer and a wrong answer, sure. Of course, there's a right way to interpret these things, right? But it's not everyone's job to know everything, and we're all just working together. Iron sharpens iron, right? And we'll all learn from each other, right? As long as we don't come from a position of like being arrogant, right, or being smug with our own intelligence, right? If we, hey, plant a seed about, hey, maybe this isn't, the right thing, or maybe you don't believe the right doctrine here. I'm planting a seed for you to check it out, and then you back off, because we're really, because of how lonely it is to be a truther, right? No one listens to us, right, about all these lies in the world, right? Like we do have to love each other, we do, because without each other it's going to be very hard to have any kind of self-esteem. I mean, of course I'm confident with just how God feels about me, and it doesn't matter really how the world feels about me, but we do need each other. We're part of a body, right? Like like you don't ask a foot to hold a spoon, right? And so yeah, one of us might know one thing and another one of us might know another. And sometimes when God's talking, he's talking from a perspective of being omnipresent. And so, it is what it is, right? And so I just love that Bible because it never gets boring, right? I mean, sometimes I do like it's hard for me to like really. I want to study like a whole book or read a whole book and I can't. And sometimes I'm like, God, please make it exciting for me again, right? But there'll always be something that I'll like, ooh, I want to dig in here and see what this means. And I especially love, like, I think I wrote it as a title, right? Are we supposed to be lovers of the truth, right? Because it's written in there all the time, right? Like test all things, hold fast to what is true, right? God's word is true. Make every man is a liar, right? And you know, and when Jesus was speaking, I mean, he'd always started off with "Verily, verily," right? So, he's saying, I'm truthfully telling you something. Truly, truly, this is the truth. You know, and I think that it's important, right, to love the truth, right? It's so important to love the truth, and it's so important for us to come here and and it's okay for us to come here and argue and learn and all that stuff. Just remember to come back here. Just if you feel attacked or whatever, please come back here because you're going to get love the same way. And it's a tight little group over here. I mean, yeah, I mean, if I opened this up to just truth topics and I didn't talk about Jesus, yeah, sure, this would be a bigger chat, right? I'd have probably 30 in this chat. But like, it's a very tight group because we're talking about, oh, hey, James, let me make you a blue. I didn't realize that you weren't blue. Let me make you blue here. And so, like, it's like, yeah, I mean, this is a very small chat because we talk about God, right? The truth leads to um, a point, right? The truth leads to a point, right, where it's like you accept Jesus or you don't. So you're either a truther and you're a Luciferian, right? That's one way to go, right? Or you're a truther and you believe in Jesus, right? And so, you can't be a truther all the way and learn all of the truth, right? And not be one of those things. That's not going to happen. And so, but I'll say this, right? That praise God really for everything He's done for us. And there was a time when the world was wiped out and only 8 people were saved. And I think about that. And I don't want God to regret making me, I don't, you know, I want to believe that God had a plan to hang out with me the whole time, and that I was included in all of that, right? Because I never really felt included anywhere in life, It's not like anybody told me I wasn't cool, right? But I never really felt cool either, And so it's just amazing to feel like that we belong with God, and we all do, we all do. And yeah, okay, we might have a disagreement here or there or whatever, right? But we are included in that kingdom of heaven, and we are going there, you know. And so, that's something that's really great. Well, anyway, guys, I'm going to go ahead and round this out, and I just want to say, God bless you, and thank you for coming out here. And I do love you guys. Some of you guys I've known for a lot of years, And I just want to say that, I don't think that I'd be able to make it without you guys every morning. This gives me my release. And so I'm grateful that you guys come and visit me. And so I'll just say that, all the glory belongs to Jesus, and praise Jesus for his sacrifice and his grace. And so I'll see you guys later, okay? Thank you so much. Bye bye.